say that into the
You don't have to be close. You can like lean back and like just aim your voice at me.
Lean back.
Look like what you're talking to me.
I can't.
Who invited you?
Nobody.
Nobody. I just shared it. All right, you ready to go? You have to intro it.
Okay.
Hee hee. Every time.
Dear God. Welcome to Our Life in Books, where we talk about our lives, books, and everything in between. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Samantha.
And we're cousins.
Kurt makes fun of us for that, by the way. He goes, "Hey, we're cousins."
Well, he can do that with his cousins.
Exactly. So. Today we are going over all of the wonderful July new releases. But first, what tea are we drinking?
So we are drinking the apricot black tea from Tea Cellar that we opened on episode 72.
Yeah, of Tea Chats. And it's amazing.
It's really
We
good.
need to bug them that, because in the box they said that they weren't going to keep it or they were unsure.
I have the thing right here.
Yep, the thing.
It says it somewhere. We're not 100% sure we're going to include this tea in our lineup only because we have a ginger peach black tea. And so they say it's similar. But to me, like, okay, peach and apricot, maybe similar fruits. But like, ginger is a totally different flavor that this doesn't have.
No, and also, let's have both. What's wrong with that? I love this one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, as soon as I could smell it, I was like, I can't wait to drink this tea.
So, unfortunately, it's not on their website. I wonder if they sell it in store.
Yeah, we'll have to ask. We'll ask and then let you guys know. We'll look down in the comments because it'll be down there or in the show notes, whatever you call it.
Yeah. So, what are you reading?
Don't answer me this question. I'm still reading The Sullivan Sisters by Catherine Ormsby and Black Enough, the anthology.
You're listening to that one.
Listening, yes. When I say reading, listening to it, and it's so good. But I just got overtaken by, and that's why we drink podcasts. And I'm currently
I feel that
obsessed with them, and so I've just been like only wanting to listen to them and to like catch up and all their little like inside jokes.
They have over 100. It's like 175 episodes or something.
Yeah.
So
we've got some catching up to do.
Yeah. A little bit.
So anyway, I'm still reading those. I'm excited. And then I think the next book I'm going to read is whatever book we decide to read for whatever we're going to call them. I don't know. So guys, we used to do this thing on Patreon where we would kind of like, we'd read a book together and then we'd kind of like do like discussion, mini review. Yeah, discussion about it.
Yeah. Should we just call it book discussions?
Yeah. Like a book discussion of a book that we both either got an arc of or just have been wanting to read.
I was also thinking like deep dive, where we just kind of like
that's
really
what I like
go
deep dive.
It.
Let's go deep dive.
Okay.
Because we talked for like an hour and a half about these. So we've done 2.
Yes.
And I think we might re-release them for the public on our podcast. But we're just kind of like still trying to figure out what books we want to read and stuff like that.
But we have so many that are on our mutual TBRs.
Yes.
So it's really hard to pick a starting point.
Yeah. And also like what was the one I just read? And you were like, oh, I wanted to read that one. I'm like, well, I'm already halfway through it. So we have to like coordinate when we're going to read them.
Right.
And also let you guys know so you can read it. So you can like join in on
Same with the Sullivan Sisters. Like I read that over a month ago.
Yeah.
So and you're reading it.
So it's like we like to do it. It's fresh.
Yes.
For both of us. Yes. So we're gonna try and pick a book soon.
And you know the way my brain works, I really want to pick the book and then come up with like a reading schedule. Like by this day we'll be to this chapter, and by this, so that we actually both read it. Yes.
And so I don't do that. I'm just like after the Sullivan Sisters, you better be ready to give me a book. It's basically. God. Or if you were like, hey, here's the book, let's read it now. I would just stop reading this and go read it.
Oh my God, I can't do that.
I wish I was scheduling
the books that I'm on.
I don't like to finish things because then they're done.
Well, and then I've also been in this weird, like, maybe it's not weird, but I know you've asked, and other people have asked, like, how I can read more than one book at once. So I read an ebook, I read a physical book, and I read an audiobook.
I don't like
and I can keep them all separate because they're all different the way I'm consuming them. So the thing is, like, if we pick a book, then I have to finish, like, if I'm going to read it on as an ebook, then I have to finish the current ebook I'm reading.
Yeah.
So then I can move on to that.
You're insane.
So I need a bit of a plan of, like, a date we're going to start at least, and then a date we have to be finished by. At least those things.
Fine.
I mean, that's better than having like chapter by chapter.
I could not do that.
Okay, not that bad, but like, like we start Monday and then by Wednesday you have to have read to this. No.
It reminds me of school. I don't like it. I will just I watched this video.
I like having like goals and
you love school. I obviously hated it. If you tell me I have to do something, I immediately will hate it. I will immediately be like, nope, I can't.
Not doing that.
Not doing that. So anyway, that's a little update on this podcast. But what are you reading?
So I actually just started this tonight. I am reading Take Me With You by Tara Altebrando. So I'm not going to read the synopsis for you, but I'm going to tell you like what I've read so far.
Oh, good call. You don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, you showed me this cover because I got rejected.
It kind of reminds me so far, like it has just a tiny bit of like a Breakfast Club feel. These 4 students all get a message from their music teacher that says immediately after school they need to go to his classroom. So each of them show up, separately, and then they're all in this room and there's this device on his desk, and it kind of looks like a Google Home thing or something.
This reminds me of what I just read.
The lie. One of us is lying. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of us is lying.
So
I thought you were gonna say The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I was like, no. No. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of, and I think I got rejected for this.
So this device is sitting there. And they all get in there and they're like, okay, the music teacher's not here. Like, what is this all about? Like, we're just going to leave. And when they try and leave, then the device starts like lighting up and then messages start playing on it.
Ooh.
And it tells them they can't tell anyone about it. They can't leave it unattended. And then it just keeps coming up with these different rules. And so they're kind of forced to like, okay, I guess we have to play along because it says or else. Like, yeah. And then, they're trying to figure out like what to do. And there's a couple of them that are very reluctant, like want to just walk out. And then there's a fire alarm. And so they panic and they're like, well, someone has to take it with them because it said or else. And like one of the girls is a big rule follower. So she's like, I'll just take it. She takes it. And then right after she takes it, then it gives her more rules. Like they have to it has to change hands every 14 hours.
Oh, dang.
So someone can't have it, forever. But only those 4 people are allowed to know. They can't tell anyone about it.
Oh.
So, yeah. And I'm like, because the book starts out from the device's point of view.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really weird. So I don't know.
It sounds
hooked,
so good.
But I'm like, I just want to know, like, who did this to them and why? Why these 4 kids?
Yeah.
And it switches between 2 different people's point of view, Eden and Marwan.
Oh, so not all 4 of them?
So far, no, just the 2. I don't know if it'll change.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Yeah, it does remind me of One of Us is Lying.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. Oh, I love that. I want to read it now. Yeah, it looks like the genre is young adult thriller mystery.
Yeah, so I know I'm going to fly through this one because I already just want to sit and read it. So.
Oh, exactly. No wonder you started tonight before I got here. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Kindle Unlimited rec for this week is The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds.
Yay.
Gotta promote him. He is a lovely person.
Mm-hmm.
We got to meet him, and his book sounds so good. I own it. I need to read it.
Same.
I'm
terrified of
but I
reading
don't
the
wanna
copy
cry.
I have because it's signed by him.
I know.
So I'm like, I kind of want to get it as an ebook too, so I could
That's
read
a
it
good
on my
idea,
phone.
honestly. Or I thought about getting it as an audiobook.
Oh, yeah.
Because it sounds so like, I don't know.
It does sound very heartbreaking.
And it's like something we all like have probably thought of.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I really like it. So I'll read the synopsis. When Jack and Kate meet at a party, bonding until sunrise over their mutual love of Fruit Loops and their favorite flicks, Jack knows he's falling hard. Soon she's meeting his best friends, Jillian and Franny, and Kate wins them over easily as she did Jack. But then Kate dies, and their story should end there. Yet Kate's death sends Jack back to the beginning, the moment they first meet, and Kate's there again, happy, healthy, and charming as ever. Jack isn't sure if he's losing his mind. Still, if he has a chance to prevent Kate's death, he'll take it, even if that means believing in time travel. However, Jack will learn that his actions are not without consequences. And when one choice turns deadly for someone else close to him, he has to figure out what he's willing to do to save the people he loves. And I feel like we've all like wanted that to like go back in time and to like make those choices
and change something.
But it's like butterfly effect. Like something else is going to happen. And just like, I don't want to cry. So
I know. And that's the thing. Like if I listen to it on audiobook, most of my audiobook listening is at work. So I can't.
No.
But I can't listen to that.
No.
There's no way.
You'll start crying at work.
Yeah, no. And I want to mention that this book is also on Prime Reading.
Yeah.
So it's a twofer. So if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, but you
get
have
on Prime.
Yeah. And then my Prime Reading pick is Pride by E.B. Zaboy. It is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but it's got Black characters.
Yes. So, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope more Black authors do that.
Well, we got a really cool edition of it in Owlcrate.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Also, that is on Kindle Unlimited as well.
Yeah. So this is just a twofer episode.
Yep. We just like to pick
two for
all
Tuesday.
of the good books.
It's
Two
Wednesday.
for Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
2 for Wednesday. All right, book news. NetGalley has audiobooks. I'm so excited.
So crazy.
Well, and they also have an app that
Yes.
you can listen and read books now.
I'm a little bit terrified. Have you tried downloading any of the books onto the new app yet?
No, because I got it at 3:00 in the morning. Also, because I looked on the website, you can still send the Kindle books if it's applicable.
Okay.
But
The
I
only
don't
thing
know if they expire.
That's what I'm scared of, is
Yeah.
that now they're gonna like not enforce, but kind of encourage you to use the NetGalley app, and then they're gonna expire, and I don't want that.
Yeah, because that's what we struggle with, is that we
I
read
have over 100 books to read and review here.
Exactly.
I don't have time for them to
Yeah.
expire.
So, and they also did a little update of their website, which is cool too. Yeah, we'll have to see. I have one that can only be downloaded by it was like that. What was it? Adobe.
Yeah, I hated that
because it was just so unuser friendly. It's insane.
It was it took forever to turn pages. So I'd try, and then it'd finally turn, and it'd skip 5 pages. And I'm like,
or it'd cut off sentences.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't read half of this. Or you could never
Yes.
zoom in or change the font. It was just so frustrating.
Right.
So I'm excited for that aspect. So
Mhm.
I do have one that I'm going to download in there. So then that can be our tester.
Yeah. Well, and then anytime I did have to read something on the Adobe whatever, I was always like, okay, I'm going to download it, and that's the book I'm reading right this second.
Yes, because you had 30 days.
Yeah.
You
Otherwise,
can't forget.
there's no way I'm going to get to it.
Mm-hmm. So that's in that aspect, I'm excited to see
Yeah.
how this app is. And that's the only way you can listen to audiobooks. So
Right.
we'll see if they stick around.
Have you applied for any audiobooks yet?
I did get one. Well, I don't know if I applied for them, but you went to the audiobooks and you just download them. They're all let's go.
Where do you find them?
That is a very good question. I went.
Find titles?
Yeah, but
Ooh, recently added audiobooks?
yeah, there we go. Wherever you're saying that at. So I picked The Multi-Life by Emma Gannon. It says, work less, create more, and design a life that works for you.
Oh.
Again, it's 3:00 in the morning, so we're both learning what this means right now.
There is a lot of books on here that we're actually going to talk about.
Shut up. Okay, maybe they added more since 3:00 in the morning. Where are
Well,
you
and then
seeing
there's
this
also
at?
Alice in Wonderland, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Persuasion. So those are.
Where did you find these at?
I went to find titles and then recently added audiobooks.
Yeah, that's where I looked. Yeah, oh yeah, there's way more now. Holy crap, there's only 5 this morning at 3 a.m. So, this book that I requested was, if you've been itching to convert your craft into a career, okay, this is just reminding me of our podcast
Mm-hmm.
and our what we do. If you've been itching to convert your craft into a career, your side hustle into a startup, or just want to think about work-life balance in a new way, then Multi-Life is for you. And this award-winning British author podcaster, Emma Gannon, which she has a podcast, we should listen to it, explains that it doesn't matter if you're a part-time PA with a blog or an accountant who runs an online store in the evenings. Whatever your ratio, whatever your mixture, we can all channel our own entrepreneur spirit to live a more fulfilled and financially healthy lives. Technology allows us to work whenever, wherever, and enables us to design our own work lives. Forget the outdated stigma of jack of all trades, master of none, because having many strings at your bow is essential to get ahead in the modern working world. We all have the skills necessary to work less and create more, and the multi-hyphen life is a source for inspiration you need to help navigate your way towards your own definition of success.
Oh.
Didn't it like kind of, it just like made me feel like it'll be like inspiring and like, I don't know. Yeah, I really was interested. But they have so much more now. Dear Girl was on there. I saw that this morning. So yeah,
I have this one on the list, and I need to add it.
The Shadows.
Burn Our Bodies Down.
What?
Yeah, it's called Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power.
What's the cover look like?
Fire. It's like all orangey.
Fafaya. Oh, Zoe Spanos is on here?
Yeah, but
this was
not.
not.
You have to wish for it.
These were not on here this morning.
Yeah, it's on there, but it's not.
Psych. I don't see the fire one. What page?
1.
Guys, I hope this is really good content for you. Listen to us. Just
page 1, second row.
Scroll.
Second
I see it now.
Okay.
The Shadows by Alex North looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
I might request it. I'm gonna wish for it.
Ooh, Burn Our Bodies Down is a YA horror.
Ooh, love that. There's not a lot of
too.
those.
No.
Okay, well, now you're talking about, read this.
Okay, I'm
read the description, please.
So this actually does come out in July, which is topical for our topic this week.
We like to be off topic.
Ever since Margot was born, it's been just her and her mother. No answers to Margot's questions about what came before. No history to hold on to. No relative to speak of. Just the two of them, stuck in their rundown apartment, struggling to get along. But that's not enough for Margot. She wants family. She wants a past. And she just found the key she needs to get it. A photograph, pointing her to a town called Faline, pointing her home. Only when Margot gets there, it's not what she bargained for. Margot's mother left for a reason. But was it to hide her past, or was it to protect Margot from what's still there? The only thing Margot knows for sure is there's poison in their family tree, and their roots are dug so deeply into Faline that now that she's there, she might never escape.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna add that to our TBRs right now.
For sure. And it's got pretty good ratings on Goodreads. So
yeah.
That's promising.
That is very promising. So that's exciting that they're like expanding, and audiobooks are really in right now.
Yes.
They probably have always been in, but I did you. But they're in our world now.
Yeah,
so
for real.
That's pretty exciting. And then there's something going on in Goodreads this week?
Yes. Let me get back up to the top here. Okay,
Let me stop scrolling through NetGalley while we're podcasting.
It's Sci-Fi Fantasy Week over on Goodreads. I really love when they do these kinds of things because they always have lists of like this one, the 100 most popular sci-fi books to read on Goodreads, 100 most popular fantasy books. They also have like recent speculative fiction. They always have lots of really good lists. So if you're new to the genre, or
if you're craving something to read of sci-fi fantasy, like I love going to lists and just adding to my TBR.
Yes.
So that's also a fun thing to do during these weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just read what is this next one?
Yeah, so this next one.
I just read the title and I was like, what is this?
Nicole actually sent me this article and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I have to put this on the podcast. 15 audiobooks that are so sexy, they'll make you lose track of time and reality. Ooh. And it's got the gif of Phyllis when she's listening to 50 Shades of Grey on The Office.
I love that episode.
Oh, my God,
that's such a good episode. They just drench her in water.
So, like, again, I listen to audiobooks at work, so I would not be able to listen to this at work because that would feel so inappropriate.
I can't read any kind of, like, flirty, sexual, like, things. And if anyone's around.
No, because even one of the audiobooks I was listening to, it's called Beach Read. Like, there's a couple heavy scenes, and I was like, turn it down. Even though I've got earbuds in, and no one can hear it, I'm like, oh, God. Like,
I always
fast
think
forward.
that people can hear it, yeah.
So yeah, this has got quite a few.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, and I know that you read a lot more
I do.
romance than I do, so.
Oh my gosh. I just read one of these titles.
Did you see the picture on one of them?
The rough.
Yes.
That's the one I scrolled.
Raw and ready.
And there's.
I mean, we can say all those words on here, but yikes.
Yikes, man. I mean, but some. You know what? This is basically like what people say. Can I say this? I'm gonna say it. Whatever. It's like lady porn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, women get to feel empowered, and I'm happy about it. Oh my god, red, white, and royal blue is on here.
Well, like okay, I don't know if this is really topical at all, but what I've heard is, or read, is that like men are more visual and women are more whatever this is. So.
So like emotional or like
we
enjoy like
reading
things.
Yeah.
And they enjoy seeing things. Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So
I like it.
I mean, so if romance is your thing, here are some books with some hot and heavy scenes.
And especially if you don't like, if you're reading, like actually reading isn't your thing, then audiobooks are just the way to go.
As far as audiobooks go, thrillers, contemporary, and romance are my favorite to listen to because I can listen to them.
Yeah.
I cannot listen to fantasy.
Yes. So my favorite are anthologies or like biographies. I really like hearing the point of views of people. And anthologies, it's just because it's like a short story. It's not a full story. So I'm just like getting a little taste of it. And so, but I do also like the other books. I'm just really into those two things right now.
Yeah. I really need to listen to a memoir where
they're reading. It makes it so much better. It's insane.
Oh.
Yeah. Like Anna Kendrick's.
Yeah.
So good.
I really want to listen to Mindy Kaling's too.
Hers are on my wish list.
Because they played a clip of one of her memoirs on the Office Ladies podcast the other day, and I was like, oh, I really want to listen to the whole thing.
Oh, so good.
Someday.
All right. We're to the July new releases.
Oh, you already put it in there. Okay, we're good. Okay, yes.
We're organized people. Elizabeth did a lot of the work, guys. So congratulate her on Twitter and Instagram when she's not blocked anymore.
It's insane how many sequels are coming out this month.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna tell everybody why you're blocked because we told Patreon,
right.
but you're gonna have to tell everybody else listening that Elizabeth is not shadow banned, but banned on Instagram.
Temporarily banned me. I don't know why, because they won't email me back.
She's too naughty.
But from what I've read online, like, you get a temporary ban for liking too quickly, commenting too quickly, or the same thing too many times, which I wasn't doing, so I have no idea where I got banned.
See, the only thing I can think of is that you used a hashtag and they decided to ban that hashtag because you posted.
But when they do that, that's called shadow banning, and that's totally different.
But maybe I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense. You
shadow
posted.
Banning, your picture just doesn't show up when someone searches a hashtag.
When you posted, did you like anything or comment?
No, because usually I'm like posting during lunch, so I'm just trying to do it and get it out of the way.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because I posted around noon, and then I got home, and it was probably like 5 or 6, and I was like, I'm gonna jump on Instagram and get caught up on some of my like groups and stuff. And I went to like a photo, and it pops up. Okay, I gotta read what it says because I was like, this doesn't. No.
The only thing I can think of is like, I know Facebook, and Facebook owns Instagram, that they have like computers, like technology, like going through everything and like flagging stuff. So maybe it just was like a computer like had an issue or whatever.
It says, we restrict certain activity to protect our community. Tell us if you think we made a mistake. So every time I've been like, tell us. Yes, tell us. And then I also went to the report thing and wrote them a message. Yeah. But it's supposed to only last 24 to 48 hours. Yeah. It's been well over 24 hours. So
let's hope that you're done because you post a ton.
I'm so frustrated. Yeah. Like, I'm missing out on all this interaction. I've got all these things I need to post. Like,
well, what I said, it's just scary that like all these things that we love like could be taken away.
Yeah. Because I'm like, what if I have to start over?
That would be terrible.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. Yeah. All right, back to so that was depressing, but I thought it's like topical. You need
Yeah.
to update the people.
Yeah, so that's why I've been absent on Instagram. I can't even post to my stories because I tried
That's
to
why
do
Our
that.
Life in Books is so popular. No, I'm just kidding. We had this plan.
We did, but it has been kind of nice to be like, well,
the thing is, if you're still, we're gonna do before this is gonna come out after we do a live stream. But if we do that,
oh yeah,
you're gonna have to do the Our Life in Books. We're gonna use my account.
If it's not back up by tomorrow, though, they're gonna get some more messages from me.
Yeah,
because
that's insane,
sir or ma'am. This is not cool.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of second books coming out.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, July new releases. So first up. This is one I'm really, really excited for. The Damned by Renee Ahdieh. This is the sequel to The Beautiful.
And I still haven't read The Beautiful. And it's like on my
good.
You know how I have a pile of books?
Yes.
That is on my pile of books. When you talk about it, I really want to read it. And then The Damned came out and I ordered it and I still haven't read The Beautiful.
So I can't read the synopsis for The Damned, but, because it would be too spoilery.
Yeah.
But it's a vampire book.
I love vampires.
It's set in New Orleans. I can't remember what year. It's quite far back. Quite far? Whatever.
It's quite far.
Quite far back.
Quite far back.
1872, New Orleans. It's really, really good. It's just so like lush and
and it's vampires.
I loved it. Yes.
And the covers are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
love.
That's exciting.
Do you want to talk about the next one? You want to go every other?
Sure. Just kidding. Because I went through these and most of these. I
actually read this one.
Okay, you have to talk about this one because this is actually one of the only ones that wasn't on my TBR.
Okay, so it's called He Started It by Samantha Downing. I talked about her book, My Lovely Wife, when I read that last year.
Yep.
That's also a thriller. That's the one with the couple that decides to murder because their marriage gets stale and then they decide to commit a murder together. So He Started It is dark as well, but this one is a family road trip. These siblings are, I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I read it, but their grandfather dies and leaves them a message, and he wants them to take a road trip that they took when they were children, that he took them on.
Oh, okay.
And as you read, you find out like what really happened on that road trip and how dark things got.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why did you send them? Dang.
It's super, super interesting. But that's what they're trying to figure out the whole time is like, okay, why did Grandpa send us on this trip? And like, how, like, is there any way we can get her out of doing this? Like, do we actually have to go on this road trip?
Yeah.
Before we get our inheritance or whatever? Like, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure this one also goes back and forth in like the timeline. Like you're reading now this road trip, and then you also get like diary entries from one of the kids from the old road trip.
Yeah.
It's really good. I just really like her thrillers. They're like edge of your seat.
Yeah.
What is actually happening here?
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to read the next one because this wasn't on my TBR list either.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim.
I'm adding all these to my TBR list, by the way, guys. I'm just like,
it is the sequel to Spin the Dawn, which was amazing. Okay, so it is.
Oh, I remember this one.
Project Runway meets Mulan. This girl is I'm trying to remember what the main character's name is. Maya? Maya?
Yeah. Maia.
She's a tailor. She's really, really good at it. But in her world, only men can be like the tailors.
Yeah.
And so she poses as a boy to try and become the tailor for the royal family, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a little bit like Mulan. It's obviously a little bit like Project Runway in that there are all these people that are there to compete, and they're given these tasks, and they have to, try and make the best garment or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. It's really good.
I remember you talking about this one. It does look good. I have the first one want to read, so I'm gonna have to
like it's been long enough since I read it that I have to reread that one and then read the sequel.
Oh, yeah. All right. Next one. Of course you wanted to read this one.
I read the first one.
I know. So you're going to talk about it because I didn't read the first one.
Oh my God. Okay. So The Crow Rider by Kaylin Josephson. This is the sequel to The Storm Crow. Let me just read the synopsis for you. In the tropical kingdom of Rodair, magical elemental crows are part of every aspect of life until the Aleutian Empire invades, destroying everything. That terrible night has thrown Princess Anthea into a deep depression. Her sister Kaliza is busy running the kingdom after their mother's death, but what did I say? Thea? Anthea. Yeah. All Thea can do...
You know you did this the last time you read this, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
All Thea can do is think of all she has lost. But when Kaliza is forced to agree to a marriage between Thea and the crown prince of Aleutian, Thea is finally spurred into action. After stumbling upon a hidden crow egg in the rubble of a rookery, she and her sister devise a dangerous plan to hatch the egg in secret and get back what was taken from them.
Oh.
I love books about birds. Like Alex London series. I can't think of what it's called right now, but I really love those books too. Yep, and those are about like birds that they like train and have special connections with.
Yeah. See, I'm such a more visual person, so I almost got it. Black
Wings Beating.
There. Yes. I can see the covers. Yeah. So when I'm like, oh, you know, that cover, and I can tell you what the cover is, you're like, oh, here's the title. I'm like, see, this is why we work well together. Right. I know the cover, what it looks like.
But yeah, that sounds so this good. Was one that had, I mean, I feel like last year a lot of books came out with crows on the cover or in the title or whatever. And I was like, I have to read every single one of those. So
it was your year of the crow, wasn't it?
Yes.
All right. The next one is The Unleashed by Danielle Vega. I do remember this one. Did you read the first one?
I did.
Okay, then you're going to talk about it because it's on my TBR. So I was like, yeah, she's adding all these ones for my TBR, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, so I read The Haunted last year, and then this is the sequel. And I remember getting to the end and being like, okay, this is an okay end, but it could have a sequel. So I'm kind of excited that it does.
Yeah.
And this is one that did kind of freak me out just a little bit.
Ooh, and you've been looking for books that will freak you out.
Hendrix Becker O'Malley is new in town and she's bringing baggage with her. With a dark and wild past, Hendrix doesn't think the small town her parents moved her to has much to offer her in terms of excitement. She plans on laying low, but when she's suddenly welcomed into the popular crowd at school, things don't go as expected. Hendrix learns from her new friends that the fixer-upper her parents are so excited about is notorious in town. Local legend says it's haunted. Hendrix doesn't believe it until she's forced to. Blood-curdling screams erupt from the basement. Her little brother wakes up covered in scratches, and something or someone pushes her dad down the stairs. With help from the mysterious boy next door, Hendrix makes it her mission to take down the ghosts if they don't take her first. Yeah, there's lots of ghosts and lots of creepy things happening in this one.
And I see there was a cover update, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm curious, did they update the
Yes,
cover?
the first one. Yes, it's green.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. Because, I have the original cover.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
So The Unleashed is coming out this month. I think I got on NetGalley, so I'm going to have to read
cool.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome you got on NetGalley. Okay, what's our next one?
You can finally talk about this one.
What's the next one?
The Fell of Dark by Caleb Roehrig.
Why? Because we both haven't read it?
Yes. Nice. I have not read this, but I have read his other book, White Rabbit, which was another, horror thriller.
Okay. I remember the cover.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, okay. So this is a YA fantasy with LGBTQ plus characters.
Yeah.
Love
because this is an Own Voices book because he himself is LGBTQ+.
Oh, I love that. And I also really like the cover with the glow-in-the-dark fangs.
Yes. Because at first I thought this was going to be a thriller or a horror. Okay, but it sounds like it's more fantasy.
I like it. The only thing, August Pfeiffer, is it Pfeiffer or Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer? Because Pfeiffer is how people from our hometown say it. So I'm going to go Pfeiffer. If it's wrong, sorry. The only thing, August Pfeiffer hates more than algebra is living in a vampire town. Located at a nexus of mystical energy fields, Fulton Heights is practically an electromagnetic for supernatural drama. And when a mysterious and annoyingly hot vampire boy arrives with a cryptic warning, Augie, oh my god, I love that name. Augie suddenly finds himself in the center of it. An ancient and terrible power is returning to the earthly realm, and somehow Augie seems to be the only one who can stop it. I want to read it, and I also, because like, who doesn't love a hot, annoying vampire boy arriving?
Vampires are making a comeback.
Yeah, and also, I love the name Augie. That's so cute.
Super cute.
I like it. Guys, go check that one out.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Yes. I know this one. Hi, my name's Samantha. I'm finally entering the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. So this one's also, I requested it on NetGalley, but I think I didn't, it's still like pending.
Yeah.
But I just saw that it was audiobook too, which is cool. Have you read any? This is The Shadows by Alex North. Have you read anything else?
No.
From them?
He had a book come out last year, though.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
That was called The Whisper Man. And the cover is so striking because I remember it being everywhere. It's like a handprint with a butterfly for the palm.
Well, and this other one is like a hand, but then like it's like the shadows of in between the fingers are people. Yeah. People's shadows. It's so cool. Do you want to read this one or do you want me to?
You can.
Oh, thanks.
I had like the first 6, so.
All right. So this is it's an adult thriller horror.
Ouch. I'm good. I just got a cramp in my foot.
Ouch, Charlie. You're like, ouch. Okay, don't try to. You're trying to get people to think I punched you or something. You're like, ouch, Samantha. Ouch. You knew a teenager like Charlie Crabtree. A dark imagination, a sinister smile, always on the outside of the group. Some part of you suspected he might be capable of doing something awful. 25 years ago, Crabtree did just that, committing a murder so shocking that it's attracted a strange kind of infamy that only exists on the darkest corners of the internet and inspired more than one copycat.
Ooh.
Paul Adams remembers the case all too well. Crabtree and his victim were Paul's friends. Paul has slowly put his life back together. But now his mother, old and senile, has taken a turn for the worse. Though every inch of him resists, it's time to come home. It's not long before things start to go wrong. Reading the news, Paul learns another copycat has struck. His mother is distressed, insistent that there's something in the house and someone is following him, which reminds him of the most unsettling thing about that awful day 25 years ago. It wasn't just a murder. It was the fact that afterward, Charlie Crabtree was never seen again. That sounds so good.
It reminds me of It.
I was going to say that. It reminds me so much of It.
Like the kids, and then they all come back to the town and things start happening again.
Oh, I love it.
Sounds really good.
That sounds so good. I wish it was Halloween.
I know. Okay, next up.
I haven't seen this one before, and I'm really mad because the cover is sick.
Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardost.
Yeah, I love that last name. I like how it's spelled.
It's cool. I just don't
know how to say it. Right. Yeah, once we know how to say it, we should. Wait, she says it. Oh, I love her in her author bio. Bashardost.
Yeah. Oh, that's so smart.
That's so smart. I think we should all do that.
So this one is
not all of us can have the last name of Smith.
That's why I like it, because it's so anonymous. It's better than my maiden name.
Do you work for Anonymous?
I can't say. I can't say that.
First rule Anonymous, you can't talk about Anonymous.
If I tell you, I have to kill you. Okay. Girl Serpent Thorn. This is a YA fantasy retelling with LGBTQ plus characters. What is the retelling of? I don't know if it says. Anyways,
yeah, I was trying to find that too.
There was and there was not, as all stories begin, a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. But for Soraya, who has lived her life hidden away apart from her family, safe only in her gardens, it's not just a story. As the day of her twin brother's wedding approaches, Soraya must decide if she's willing to step outside of the shadows for the first time. Below in the dungeon is a demon who holds knowledge that she craves, the answer to her freedom. And above is a young man who isn't afraid of her, whose eyes linger not with fear, but with an understanding of who she is beneath the poison. Soraya thought she knew her place in the world, but when her choices lead to consequences she never imagined, she begins to question who she is and who she is becoming, human or demon, princess or monster.
Ooh. I was scrolling through the comments, and it says one person wrote, Jameson. She wrote, inspired by Persian mythology.
Ooh.
So I kind of enjoy that because it's a mythology that we're not, accustomed to.
Oh, this is the same author that wrote Girls Made of Snow and Glass, which was also a YA retelling.
Oh, yeah. I remember that cover.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a t-shirt that says, I remember that cover. Yeah.
But who's the author and what's it called?
And then you'll know that. Oh, I love covers.
Uh-huh. Oh,
that have serpents on them. Oh,
that was that was another huge thing last year, and it's kind of carrying it over into this year.
Yeah, because a lot of them have sequels or it's still coming out through other books.
I was turned into a robot.
What was that? Sorry, I was thinking, and also I was thinking, Michael Scott's sometimes I start a sentence and I just that was that sentence. I was just writing that sentence along with everybody else.
That was wonderful.
Welcome to my brain. It's scary in there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, this next one I have not heard of before.
Girl.
And it's a romance.
Yeah, that's why it's yours.
Okay, I'm cool with that. As I try to click on it, let me click on it. It's come on, Samantha, you know how to do this. One to Watch by Kate Stamen London. It is a adult contemporary romance.
Yeah.
Ooh. Cover's cute. B. Schumacher is a devastatingly stylish plus-size fashion blogger who has amazing friends, a devoted family, legions of Insta followers.
Don't get banned.
Sorry. Don't join Elizabeth in the banned list. And a massively broken heart. Like the rest of America, is it B?
I think it's B.
Okay, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
B indulges in her weekly obsession, the hit reality show Main Squeeze, the fantasy dates, the kiss-off rejections, the surprising amount of guys named Chad. But B is sick and tired of the lack of body diversity on the show. Since when is being size 0 a prerequisite for getting engaged on television?
Yeah.
That's so true. Just when B has sworn off dating altogether, she gets an intriguing call. Main Squeeze wants her to be the next star, surrounded by men vying for her affections.
Yeah.
B agrees on one condition. Under no circumstances will she actually fall in love. She's in this to supercharge her career.
We all know how this ends.
Yep. Subvert her harmful anti-fat beauty standards, inspire women across America, and get a free hot air balloon ride. That's it. But when the cameras start rolling, B realizes things are more complicated than she anticipated. She's in a whirlwind of sumptuous couture, internet culture wars, sexy suitors, and an opportunity, 1, 2, or 5, to find a messy, real-life love in a midst of a made-for-TV fairy tale. Whoa, that was a sentence. In this joyful, razor-sharp debut, B has to decide whether she might just be worth trusting these men and herself for a chance at a happily ever after.
Okay, so this is my thing with romances / contemporaries is I feel like I always know
what's going to happen.
Right, but I'm still okay with it. And I think that's the point. I love the journey of it.
I think that is the point of them, is that's why I think I found comfort in them for so long. They're still my comfort, but I'm definitely not in that headspace where I have to read romance and have to know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the nice thing about it, is that it's a read where it's a feel good.
Yeah.
I love that.
That sounds really good.
It does sound really good.
All right. Next up, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This is another horror.
Ooh. I was freaking out.
I actually have an audiobook of this on Libro FM.
Nice.
So I'm nervous. I don't know how horror is going to go. Sorry.
You'll have to let us know.
I don't know if it's going to read as kind of like a thriller, I get hooked on those on audio.
I think it'd be like a scary podcast, kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I think of it as.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about it.
Seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Sounds really good. And I don't remember. I want to say this is also own voices, but I might be wrong. I could be wrong. So.
Oh, okay. The end. That was a period.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
sorry.
I was trying to read to see if I could find out, but I swear I read that somewhere, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well,
do your own research.
Yep, exactly. Okay, next is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Have you read this?
No, and this was originally not on my TBR, but as I was going through the list, I just saw witching, and I was like, well,
I love the cover. Yeah, it's so cool. All right, so this is a YA fantasy horror.
It's a feminist fantasy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was going to combine them. Feminicity. I tried. Nope. You know, like femtasy. Femtasy. There you go.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Bookmark that. Okay.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
I'm going to
Femtasy.
I'm trying to make femtasy happen. In the lands of Bethel, where the prophet's word is law, Emmanuel Moore's very existence is blasphemy. Her mother's union with an outsider of a different race casts her once proud family into disgrace. So Emanuela, did I say Emmanuel? Sorry, Emanuela.
There's no A, though. So I think you're right. Emmanuel.
Oh, okay. But it says, okay.
Right? Because there's no A.
But the L, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's L. Yeah, Emmanuel. Not Emmanuel. Emmanuel.
Right.
Mold or mold. And then Weston's like, you guys are saying the same thing. I don't know. It's like, okay, here we go. So Emmanuel does her best to worship the Father, follow holy protocol, and lead a life of submission, devotion, and absolute conformity like all other women in the settlement.
Oh, I'm already getting angry.
It just like starts bubbling. Uh-huh. But a mishap lures her into the forbidden dark woods surrounding Bethel, where the first prophet once chased and killed 4 powerful witches.
Sir.
Their spirits are still lurking there, and they bestow a gift on Emmanuel, the journal of her dead mother, who Emmanuel is shocked to learn once sought sanctuary in the woods. Fascinated by the secrets in the diary, Emmanuel finds herself struggling to understand how her mother could have consorted with the witches. But when she begins to learn grim truths about the church and its history, she realizes the true threat to Bethel is its own darkness. And she starts to understand that if Bethel is to change, it must begin with her.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
The Grace Year.
It does remind me of the Grace Year. I actually recommend it. There's also a giveaway on Goodreads right now that goes on until the 20th of July. So go enter it. I actually told this girl we were talking about the 19th Amendment and women's right to vote. Mm-hmm. And it irks her, this kind of stuff too. And I was like, you need to read the Grace Year and get real angry.
Yeah.
This sounds like another one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was already getting angry just at the description.
Yep. Already getting fired up.
Okay. Anyways, that was fun. It's still there, whatever it is.
You can drink water.
You
are allowed water on this podcast.
Well,
Keep
you for
yourself
your permission.
Hydrated.
Okay, our next pick is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This is another thriller, so of course it's on my list, and I'm pretty sure I have the audio of this on Libro FM too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna blast through audiobooks this month.
Yeah.
Anna Andrews finally has what she wants, almost. She's worked hard to become the main TV presenter of the BBC's lunchtime news, putting work before friends, family, and her now ex-husband. So when someone threatens to take her dream job away, she'll do almost anything to keep it. When asked to cover a murder in Blacktown, the sleepy countryside village where she grew up, Anna is reluctant to go. But when the victim turns out to be one of her childhood friends, she can't leave. It soon becomes clear that Anna isn't just covering the story, she's at the heart of it. DCI Jack Harper left London for a reason, but never thought he'd end up working in a place like Blackdown. Oh, I said Blacktown last time, sorry. Blackdown. But when the body of a young woman is discovered, Jack decides not to tell anyone that he knew the victim until he begins to realize he is a suspect in his own murder investigation. One of them knows more than they are letting on. Someone isn't telling the truth. Alternating between Anna's and Jack's points of view, his and hers, is a fast-paced, complex, and dark puzzle that will keep readers guessing until the very end.
Ooh, this sounds real good.
It really does. I love those that are like, go back to your small town and uncover all these mysteries from your past.
I do too. Oh, that sounds so good. And did you say what genre it was? I don't remember.
Thriller.
Adult thriller.
Don't sing it.
I want to. I started doing the hand motions.
And this is... That's about all we can get before we have to pay for it.
Right. Ooh, the next one is one we've been like so excited to come out.
The cover reminds me a lot of Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yeah?
Because doesn't that one have like the guys leaning against the words or against like the panels?
What one are you on?
But I thought this was the next one.
Oh, it is. I skipped one. I mean, I'm still very excited for this one to come out, too.
Okay.
This has been on my TBR list for a while.
So which one do you want to do first?
Do you want me to read this one?
Sure.
Yes. Okay, cool. So, sorry, I skipped ahead, but I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah.
So it is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Alexis Hall. It's a romance with LGBTQ plus characters. And you're right, it does remind me of Red, White, and Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it says, wanted. One fake boyfriend, practically perfect in every way. Luke O'Donnell is, oh man.
Tangentially
And reluctantly famous. His rock star parents split when he was young, and the father he's never met spent the next 20 years cruising in and out of rehab. Now that his dad's making a comeback, Luke's back in the public eye, and one compromising photo is enough to ruin everything. What'd I say?
Compromising.
Oh, that's how I say it when I'm spelling it.
I mean, that's fair.
Compromising photo is enough to ruin everything.
You just said it again.
Compromising. I like what did I say?
Compromising. Compromising.
Compromising.
I love it.
I'm not reading anymore. I quit.
It just kills me because I know in your brain, you know, like it's the right word. You're reading so fast.
And for me, this is me reading slow. Isn't that insane?
Oh,
I'm trying so hard to read
crazy.
Oh, that's like me reading super slow too. I'm trying to slow.
But your brain is
it's
ahead. It's way ahead.
It's a scary place in there. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to read slow.
Good luck.
To clean up his image, Luke has, I feel like, to clean up his image.
No.
Is that normal?
But, okay, it's not about how fast it's coming out of your mouth. It's how fast your brain's
Reading
going.
it, yeah. Okay, good point. To clean up his image, Luke has to find a nice, normal relationship. And Oliver Blackwood is as nice and normal as they come. He's a barrister,
yeah.
Barrister, an ethical vegetarian,
Hey.
and he's never inspired a moment of scandal in his life. In other words, perfect boyfriend material. Unfortunately, apart from being gay, single, and really, really in need of a date for the big event, Luke and Oliver have nothing in common. So they strike a deal to be publicity friendly. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. They strike a deal to be publicity-friendly fake boyfriends until the dust has settled. Then they can go their separate ways and pretend it never happened. But the thing about fake dating is it can feel a lot like real dating, and that's when you get used to someone. I hate reading.
You hate reading out loud.
I hate reading out loud. And that's when you get used to someone. Start falling for them. Don't ever want to let them go. See, if I read fast, I can understand it, but it's like...
You get to that point where you feel like you're trying too hard.
Yes, I think I'm just trying too hard right now. But it sounds really good, and I love
it
those
does
kind
sound
of...
really good.
It's one of those romances where it's like, I feel like it's going to be good, and it's going to...
I love enemies to lovers.
Me too.
I feel like that's what this is.
That's definitely enemies to lovers.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Okay, this is the one that we're both really excited about. I mean,
Yes.
we were both excited about that, but this one I feel like we've been anticipating for quite a while
And
now.
talking about for a while, yeah.
Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think that's how. It's a Bayron or Byron. I can't remember.
Were you going to read this one?
No, you can.
Okay.
I need to just take a break.
Okay. It's 200 years after Cinderella found her prince, but the fairy tale is over. Teen girls are now required to appear at the annual ball where the men of the kingdom select wives based on a girl's display of finery.
Ugh.
If a suitable match is not found, the girls not chosen are never heard from again. 16-year-old Sophia would much rather marry Aaron, her childhood best friend, than parade in front of the suitors. At the ball, Sophia makes the desperate decision to flee and finds herself hiding in Cinderella's mausoleum. There, she meets Constance, the last known descendant of Cinderella and her stepsisters. Together, they vow to bring down the king once and for all, and in the process, they learn that there's more to Cinderella's story than they ever knew. This fresh take on a classic story will make readers question the tales they've been told and root for girls to break down the constructs of the world around them.
Yes, and I watched a little bit of a live show, and she said, that it's definitely like a dark twist, and I can't wait.
I love
I
that.
honestly can't wait.
We didn't say genre, but I feel like you already know. It's
Fantasy.
a YA, fantasy retelling,
Yep.
LGBTQ.
Yes.
All the things.
All of the things, all of the great things. Okay, the next one is Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan.
Yes, this is the author of Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was coming out.
There is a Goodreads giveaway for this too, for Kindle book.
Nice.
It ends in a day. Just kidding.
Sorry, guys, you missed out.
It's not going to be available anymore.
Just kidding.
My bad.
Oh my gosh, this one's so long.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. The iconic author, I don't have to read that part. On her usually that part's bolded, so I know I don't have to read it
right?
before I start. Okay. On her very first morning on the jewel-like island of Capri, Lucy Churchill sets eyes on George Zao, and she instantly can't stand him. She can't stand it when he gallantly offers to trade hotel rooms with her so that she can have the view of the
Tyrrhenian
Sea. She can't stand that he knows more about Curzio Malaparte than she does, and she really can't stand it when he kisses her in the darkness of the ancient ruins of a Roman villa, and they are caught by her snobbish, disapproving cousin Charlotte. Your mother is Chinese, so it's no surprise you'd be attracted to someone like him, Charlotte teases. Daughter of an American-born Chinese mother and blue-blooded New York father, Lucy has always sublimated the Asian side of herself in favor of the white side, and she adamantly denies having feelings for George. But several years later, when George unexpectedly appears in East Hampton where Lucy is weekending with her new fiancé, Lucy finds herself drawn to George again. Soon Lucy is spinning a web of deceit that involves her family, her fiancé, the co-op board of her Fifth Avenue apartment, and ultimately herself as she tries mightily to deny George entry into her world and her heart. Moving between summer playgrounds of privilege, peppered with decadent food and extravagant fashion, Sex and Vanity is a truly modern love story, a daring homage to A Room with a View, and a brilliantly funny comedy of manners set between two cultures.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It really does. And I haven't read a lot of classics, but I have read A Room with a View.
Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly. I don't know why, but I did.
I wanted to read it.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I was inspired to read it from The Office because that's one of the books they read in the Finer Things Club.
Oh, and you're like, I need to read this.
They read it on The Office, so obviously I have to read it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm that person.
All right, the next book is The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune.
Just clicked on
it is a YA
again.
fantasy with LGBTQ plus characters. And so
I have the ARC. I haven't read it yet.
you have the ARC? I was going to say, this has just been on my TBR. Because I saw a coming age story about a fanboy with ADHD, and I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
Nick Bell, not extraordinary, but being the most popular fanfiction writer in the Extraordinaries fandom is a superpower, right? After a chance encounter with Shadow Star, Nova City's mightiest hero and Nick's biggest crush, Nick sets out to make himself extraordinary, and he'll do it with or without reluctant help of Seth Grey, Nick's best friend and maybe the love of his life.
Aww.
Yeah, isn't that so cute? It says
it sounds like it's full of nerds.
Yeah, it's a queer coming of age story about a fanboy with ADHD and the heroes he loves.
Oh, it just sounds so good.
It sounds so good.
Okay.
Go check it out.
Next up is The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. Yes, I'm going to go with that. And in Ireland, doubly ravaged by war and disease, nurse Julia Power works at an understaffed hospital in the city center where expectant mothers who have come down with a terrible new flu are quarantined together. Into Julia's regimented world, not reimagined.
I wanted to say reimagined too. Yeah.
Into Julia's regimented world step two outsiders, Dr. Kathleen Lynn, a rumored rebel on the run from the police, and a young volunteer helper, Bertie Sweeney. In the darkness and intensity of this tiny ward over 3 days, these women change each other's lives in unexpected ways. They lose patience to this baffling pandemic, but they also shepherd new life into a fearful world. With tireless tenderness and humanity, carers and mothers alike somehow do their impossible work. In The Pull of the Stars, Emma Donoghue once again finds the light in the darkness in this new classic of hope and survival against all odds.
Ooh, don't know if I could read that. That sounds
historical fiction set during the pandemic of the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's super timely.
It's definitely timely. Oh.
And it just sounds really
It does sound really good. But also just like, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like if you are currently in quarantine, this might be a difficult one to read and maybe one you should skip over until the pandemic is over.
Yeah, or somewhat subsided with a hopefully vaccine. Yeah, because it seems heavy for right now.
It does seem kind of heavy.
But also some people really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I need something like that to feel like I'm connected to it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right. This next one is The Mall by Megan McCafferty. It is a YA contemporary fiction.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this because it's in the 90s.
In the 90s, it was like neon and I saw scrunchies and I was like, yes, I want to read this.
Yes, I love it.
Okay. The year is 1991. I mean, this stuff is in now again, which I love. Like the two pieces of hair like pulled out. I did that the other day and I was like, I feel like I'm back in the 90s.
I just don't think I could ever do it again. I did it way too much.
I know.
Then. Like way too much.
Oh, okay. Scrunchies, mixtapes, and 90210 are like totally fresh. Casey Worthy is psyched to spend her summer after graduation working at the Parkway Center Mall. In 6 weeks, she and her boyfriend head off to college in NYC to fulfill the plan, higher education and happily ever after. But you know what they say about the best laid plans. Set entirely in the classic monumentum to consumerism, communism. Momentum to consumerism, the novel follows Cassie as she finds friendship, love, and ultimately herself in the most unexpected of places. I'm super excited that it takes place in a mall. It reminds me of Stranger Things season 3.
Yes.
And
in the 90s.
In the 90s. Because malls really aren't what they were.
No.
Like, you understand, like, we used to go to malls and it was, like, so packed. Right. It was, like, the in thing to do. And now it's, like, online shopping. No one goes to the malls.
And, like, if there is a mall, it's, like, one of those outdoor, like, strip malls or something. Mm-hmm. Like, those are pretty in.
Like, we used to go to those for, like, what to do on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And like we used to go to the mall. I just remember like walking in and like everyone is like walking around. It wasn't even like Christmas. Everyone's just like walking around and there's like all this stuff going on.
And now like I feel like all the malls we go to now, like there's hardly anyone there.
Yep.
And half of the stores are gone.
Mm-hmm. And this was before COVID. So
it's
like
kind of sad.
It is sad. Like it's like a thing is gone.
But like, so what are they going to do with all those malls?
I don't know. A lot of them, like, I know a lot of them, like, either get turned into stuff or, like, they have to be torn down. Like, sometimes in contracts, they'll do, like, you have to tear it down or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be a lot of, like, empty malls.
Yeah. They're going to have to turn them, like, turn them into something
Into
useful.
something. Like a
I don't
school,
know.
like a hair salon school or something.
They're awful big.
They're huge. It's insane.
It's so crazy.
It is.
All right.
All right, looks like the last one on the list for
Yes.
our picks.
This one is The Princess Will Save You
Oh, I love that title.
by Sarah Henning. This is another one that I didn't have on my list before, but as I was going through, I had to add
Yeah,
it.
because she wrote The Sea Witch.
Yeah, and look at that cover, and The Princess Will Save You. Like, that got me right away.
The princess will always save you.
All right. When a princess's commoner true love is kidnapped to coerce her into a political marriage, she doesn't give in. She goes to rescue him.
Yes.
When her warrior father, King Sandoa, mysteriously dies, Princess Emerande of Ardenia is given what would hardly be considered a choice: marry a stranger at 16 or lose control of her family's crown. But Emerande, is that how I said it? How did I say it before? Emerande.
You're not even looking at the page. You're just closing your eyes.
Emerande.
Yeah, Emerande, I think you said.
Was raised to be a warrior, not a sacrifice. In an attempt to force her choice, a neighboring kingdom kidnaps her true love, stable boy Luca. With her kingdom on the brink of civil war and no one to trust, she'll need all her skill to save him, her future, and her kingdom.
I feel like those poor stable boys always get the end of the deal.
Also, like, I appreciate fantasy in all their, like, strange names. I don't want to say strange. They're just so hard to pronounce.
I know. I wish that it was like...
And I don't want to say strange because that makes me feel really ignorant.
No.
Whatever. But, like, I feel like all fantasy novels, especially fantasy, because I feel like they're
should have like a glossary how to say things.
Even in the synopsis, it should have a little thing behind it
yes,
that shows you how to pronounce
because
it.
we've done the thing where we read something in our brains so much.
Oh my God, yes.
And then we're like, oh, we've been saying that wrong.
Yeah, I just finished a book where I did that, and I was like, I honestly don't even know how I'm saying it in my head. So if I go to say it out loud, no idea how to say it. I just
like,
recognize the word.
Yeah,
so
I do that all the time. Ooh, so those are our, like, mostly Elizabeth's, but some of mine, July new release TBRs.
Yeah.
So you guys should let us know what yours are. We did actually use our Twitter for once and tweet to see if anyone else had recommendations for us. So we got a couple, which is exciting.
It was like, they just started rolling in, and I kept getting notifications on my phone, and I'm like, what? Why is my Twitter blowing up? This is insane.
So this is pretty exciting. So we're just going to kind of quickly go through them because we've already been talking for an hour. Sounds about right. So just want to go every other?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was recommended to us by the, I don't know, we don't have to say that, I guess. Okay, so the first one is The Vintage Bookshop of Memories by Elizabeth Holland.
And then we have A Mindful Journey, an adventure of discovery and transformation by Vera Jo Bustos.
And then My So-Called Quarantine, an introverted poetry book by Taryn Bryce.
That sounds right up my alley.
It does sound really good.
The Descendants, Balton Trilogy by Melissa Rydell. The second book actually came out this month.
Yes, and the first book. So she said, make sure to read the first book. That came out last year, I think. The next one is Divine Error by Aisha Arouj.
And then we have Farm by Sai Rose.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's like a horror,
I
which terrifying.
That name.
The next one is Who's There? A collection of stories by Demas Rio.
And then Oil and Water by Laura Ann Dominic.
And then the next one is A Game of Gods by Sean Michael Paquette.
Yes. And then we have One Hand on the Sink by Ken McCarthy.
And the last one is Ethereal by Miss Parneet Kaur. Kaur. Yeah. Thank you. Kaur. So yeah, those are some of the recommendations for you guys from our Twitter. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool that we got some recommendations. So if you guys have any recommendations, tweet us and tag us on Instagram so we can remember to add it to our TBRs.
Yeah. So many books.
So many books. All of the books.
That's the story of our lives.
That is. The cover's pretty.
Always.
Always. Okay, well, we better get going. We've got more tea to drink and books to read. All of our social medias are down below as always. If Elizabeth stopped typing while I'm talking.
I'm deleting.
delete.
There was an extra page in the document. It was driving me nuts.
Make sure to rate and review the podcast. And if you haven't already,
subscribe.
Yeah, because we forget to say that. Come check us out on Patreon.
Yeah.
We're pretty active over there. We've got after hours episodes every week, along with like random bloopers and pictures and conversations and videos. The video
is going to be on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. So if you follow us on Instagram, we're going to be having a video coming out where we do some randonauting. And if you want to know more about that, that's over on Patreon.
Yeah.
And if you want us to do book deep dives, let us know because we are definitely planning on doing it. So, I mean, if any authors want to send us both a copy of their book, we would definitely be willing to do that.
Or if you guys have any suggestions of books you'd like us to read. Because it'll be not quite a book club, but like we're going to suggest you read the book before you listen to the episode.
And we'll try to like tell you guys in advance so that you guys can hang out with us. But if not, you can always...
And if it catches on, then maybe we will do like more of a book club where it's more interactive.
Yes, but right now it's just a book club of 2.
Yeah. And then please join us if you'd like.
Yes, that'd be great. All right. Well, thanks for listening and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.